Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a gaming news wrap-up video where we discuss the happenings of the week. This week's topics include a close-up view of some Diablo 2 Resurrected character models, a Blizzard WoW Classic pricing scandal, Mass Effect doing remasters right, and more. As always, discussion timestamps can be found in the description below, but right before you skip ahead, just a quick reminder to ring that sub notification bell to be alerted to new Saturday episodes and stay up to date with gaming news highlights. Now, before I move on, just a quick word from this video's sponsor, Audible. I'm always looking for content that I can listen to without having to watch. Content that I can listen to while working, or put on my wireless earbuds and listen to while I cook or clean. And Audible is the world's leading provider of spoken word entertainment, with the largest selection of audiobooks and thousands of podcasts. I know I have some lore-starved Diablo fans listening right now. Well, Audible has a bunch of official Diablo novels available in audiobook format, and I encourage you to get started with Diablo Legacy of Blood. As an Audible member, you get 1 credit every month, good for any title in Audible's premium selection, and those titles are yours to keep forever in your Audible library, even once you cancel your membership. As an Audible Plus member, you have full access to Audible's Plus catalog of countless audiobooks, original entertainment, and podcasts, all available to download or stream without limit, anytime, anywhere. And you can start listening with a 30-day Audible trial for full access to the Audible Plus catalog. Just visit audible.com/Rhykker or text Rhykker to 500-500. That's audible.com/RHYKKER or text Rhykker to 500-500. In our first story, action role-playing game Monster Hunter World has achieved a new milestone, 17 million copies sold, as of March 31st, 2021. This makes the game Capcom's highest-selling game in history. Now, Monster Hunter World released in January 2018 to critical acclaim, and its expansion Iceborne released in 2019. It's an action role-playing game, but not in the Diablo sense of the word. It's third-person, over-the-shoulder, with a much greater focus on skillful combat. Hopefully, the Monster Hunter movie that's in the works, that we've made fun of in the past, will turn out to live up to the franchise. What's that? Oh, it released already. How'd it do? In other news, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the remaster of the 3 Mass Effect games, has released, and it's receiving great reviews. The consensus seems to be that it's a great remaster and the best way to experience the old games, and I think that's ultimately what you want from a remaster. You want everyone to feel like the remastered version is the version of the game that everyone should play. If ever someone feels like they would recommend the original over a remaster, I think that's a failure of a remaster. And to demonstrate just how far the devs went to ensure that would not be the case for Mass Effect, that no one could recommend or would recommend the older versions, the devs even gave players the option, the choice, to play with the game's improved vehicle physics, or stick with the old janky physics for those who want to experience all the silliness that resulted. Now, while critic reviews have been great, the remaster is getting mixed reviews on Steam. Reading through the negative reviews, the commonalities seem to be people experiencing crashing or loading issues, which, you would hope will be fixed soon enough, but also a lack of proper ultra-wide support. So the game itself has the ultra-wide support, but then when you jump into a cutscene or dialogue, the aspect ratio changes back to just widescreen. So there's a sort of discordance popping between aspect ratios. Now, a large number of people play on ultra-wide, so the number of people that this will affect isn't very big, so I expect that over time, those mixed reviews will turn to mostly positive and potentially, and most likely even to positive as more reviews start coming in, because again, as of right now, there aren't that many. As of the time of this recording, the game has pretty much just released, but we'll find out in maybe a week or so how things have held up. Onto some World of Warcraft news. Last week, the release date for the Burning Crusade coming to WoW Classic was revealed, June 1st. What was also revealed was the pay model for this expansion, and many players were quite upset over the numbers. Now, WoW Classic requires a WoW subscription to play. The Burning Crusade will be rolled out at no additional cost. However, when the expansion rolls out, players will have to make a choice. Either migrate your character to the Burning Crusade or remain on Vanilla WoW Classic. there was this divide in the WoW community over whether Classic should move forward into subsequent expansions. Some wanted it to remain the pure vanilla experience, others wanted to have the Burning Crusade rolled out as well. Blizzard decided, hey, well, let's make both camps happy. We'll have one version of the game that moves on to Burning Crusade, and one stays untouched in vanilla. However, for players who want to experience both, Blizzard has created a new cloning feature, which allows you to make a copy of your character that you move on to the Burning Crusade, while your original character stays in vanilla, or maybe it's your clone that stays in vanilla and your original goes onto Burning Crusade.
Don't start. I'm the original.
And effectively this allows you to get the best of both worlds. You can play the Burning Crusade, but you can also remain in vanilla. The thing is, the cloning feature comes with a price. $35. So again, if you want to play the Burning Crusade, or if you just want to stick with vanilla, you pay nothing more than your WoW subscription. But if you want to be able to do both, $35. Now, a lot of players felt that this was way too expensive. Now, apparently a survey had gone out in the past that included talk about this cloning feature and a potential pricing point, and allegedly the community consensus was that a $10 cloning fee would be appropriate. So seeing this $35 certainly freaked out a lot of people. Well, after the kerfuffle, Blizzard announced this week that they are reducing the fee from $35 to $15, which is certainly a win for the community. The fee went down, but it does kind of tickle the cynical side of the brain. In theory, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but in theory, Blizzard could have come out and announced a price that they knew people would think is too high, and then take advantage of the anchoring effect. You see, the anchoring effect is a cognitive bias where your thoughts are influenced by a reference point or an anchor. In this case, our anchor was $35. So when Blizzard reduces the fee to $15, we compare that to our anchor. Oh wow, $15, that's less than half of $35. What a great deal! Whereas if Blizzard had just first come out with a price of $15 right out the gate, with no anchor to bias us, then the $15 doesn't seem like as good of a deal. And in fact, for people that took the survey and had that $10 figure in mind, $15 seems more expensive. Now, do I think this is what happened? Do I think Blizzard did it deliberately this way? I don't think so. It's possible, but I don't think so. I just wanted to highlight how easy it is for companies to use psychological tricks to manipulate us. And this is pervasive across all industries. In stores, for instance, you'll see a super expensive product that pretty much only exists to make the cheaper but still expensive product look like such a great deal. You know, I only wanted to buy a medium, but the large is only a bit smaller than the extra large and much less expensive than the extra large. What a great deal! I'd be stupid not to take the large. On to some last Epoch news. The devs of the upcoming ARPG have been making some balanced changes to the arena to ensure more equality among the different maps, and they also revealed some new splash art for the Lich class's signature Reaper form transform ability. What a great piece of art. I think it's my favorite of the whole game. The director of Last Epoch also announced that he'll be conducting an Ask Me Anything on May 20th. So I encourage you to follow the link in the description if you'd like to ask some questions. In other news, Resident Evil Village has had a terrific launch. On Steam, it's been the most successful launch of any Resident Evil game before it, achieving over 100,000 concurrent players. To compare, the runner-up in the series is Resident Evil 2, which hit 74,000 concurrents on Steam, and then Resident Evil 3, which hit 60,000. Again though, this is just on Steam, and Resident Evil is a multi-platform franchise. Now, Resident Evil Village sold over 3 million units in its first 4 days, which makes it the fastest selling Resident Evil game since 2012's Resident Evil 6, which sold over 4.5 million copies in just 2 days. However, Resident Evil 6 received mixed or average reviews, which made its sales slow down, capping out at 7.7 million units sold. Resident Evil Village, on the other hand, is receiving generally favorable reviews, so the possibility exists for this to become the best-selling Resident Evil game yet. On to Diablo news, starting with Diablo 2 Resurrected. Pure Diablo has been putting together videos showcasing up close some of the 3D models in Diablo 2 Resurrected, including the playable classes, NPCs, and monsters. Now, I should note that in their model viewer, the lighting is unflattering. There seems to be some texture mapping issues in some cases. And also, we never see these 3D models in-game this up close, so just things to bear in mind while you're looking at them. I'll pop links to these in the video description for you folks to check out yourselves. The fetishes up close are things of nightmares. In general, a lot of monsters up close look horrifying, like creatures out of Silent Hill. Bloodraven gives me Silent Hill nurse vibes for some reason. The Smith looks so fearsome, bringing down his hammer, and Dariel looks truly demonic, like an evil goddess out of occult folklore. Charcy has the arm muscle definition you'd expect from a blacksmith who hammers metal all day. Cain looks old, but still younger than he looks, or at least less decrepit, than in Diablo 3. Almost like he's been de-aged from D3, but he still has very similar facial features, all the way down to little idiosyncrasies like an unevenness in the eyes. The detail on Flavie goes so far as to make her shut one eye while aiming during her attack animation. Kashia still has that crossed-armed body language, and now additionally the facial expression you'd expect of someone who seems quietly in command. And in other Diablo 2 news, Carbot released a new episode of his Diablo 2 series. We finally get to confront Mephisto. On to Diablo Immortal news. Redditor Renetin spotted this promotional ad for the game, and Redditor Pacey, who allegedly is a digital marketing manager, offered some insight. According to Pacey, the ad looks like it's part of the awareness phase of marketing, with 2 more phases of advertising coming before release. The second marketing phase is the consideration phase, which is expected to convey more details about the game. And then lastly comes the purchase phase, which Pacey expects will come in around 3 months. Now we know from the last Activision Blizzard investor call that Diablo Immortal is on track to release this year, but I do feel that 3 months is optimistic. I'm expecting around November or December, not summer, since I think Diablo 2 Resurrected will release first. Diablo Immortal is still in alpha, whereas Diablo 2 Resurrected is ready for beta. And in other Diablo Immortal alpha news, Blizzard will be extending the alpha, which is currently only available in Australia, to South Korea and Japan on May 20th, again just for Android. Now, I've been playing in the alpha for a couple of weeks now, and I do have a feedback video in the works, so stay tuned for that, because that's going to wrap up this week's video. But do be sure to have checked out last week's video, in which we discuss how Blizzard has lost almost a third of its player base over the last 3 years. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more gaming content.